Hello everyone, JRDL96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's another Jacksepticeye video, and it's the, I guess you could say, the Q&A video that he planned to do, and I haven't had a chance to really react to it for a while because I've been busy myself. And I actually asked a question in there, but I most likely believe that he didn't answer that. But I'll let you know what question I asked him. But the question is if he's going to answer it. I don't know. So let's just find out. So without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we?
Questions. So many questions in the world. So many people trying to figure out what it's all about. Why are we here? What are those? And only one person has the answers. Me. So
oh, really?
I'm going to do something incredibly original. Never done before on YouTube. I'm going to do a Q&A because I haven't done one in a while. I don't do reading comments videos the way they are anymore, like the and now YouTube comments, because I've done so many of them. There's over 100 episodes of them, and I said it would keep going forever, but I just kept getting the same questions all the time. I'm probably going to get all the same questions again here, but here we are anyway. But I thought I'd leave it for a good long time until we go back and do these types of things. Leave a bit more gaps between them so we actually get different questions pertaining to what's actually going on right now. And I started doing different types of... because I miss interacting with you guys, with the audience, with everybody at home watching. I want to bring you into the videos more and more, and that's where certain other videos came into play, like the flamingo shorts and everything, or like looking at memes that you guys have made. Those kinds of things are a great way of bringing the audience into the video, and I want to do more of those, but because I haven't done like a proper reading comments or actually Q&A or anything like that for a while, it's hard to get a sense for where my head's at. And so much change going on in the background all the time. Those were kind of like a concrete way of just kind of sitting back and being like, oh, okay, I get it. I know what's going on. I see where your head's at. Those types of things. And because I don't do many vlogs or anything anymore, these are a good way of doing that. So I thought, why not? Let's try and go back to where we were and do some more of these and try and connect a small bit more. So sit back, grab yourselves a drink, and let's A some Q's. Why haven't you gotten that Coke sponsorship yet? Okay, first question, going straight for the jugular, okay? I'm out here, man. I'm not trying to catch those hands. Leave me alone. How's that Coke sponsorship coming along? Come on, guys. Let's get it out of the way right now, okay? I'm working on it. Have you guys heard about Coca-Cola Zero Sugar? Have you? The good word? It's the same great Coke taste that you're all used to, but now it has zero sugar, and this one even has a hint of added vanilla.
Sucks.
I'm getting orange vanilla sent to my house. Getting it sent to my house. I bought it and I ordered it. I made it sound like they sent it to me. Because I've never tried it and everyone keeps talking about it, so we'll see. Oh, Coke review. How are you doing? Anything interesting / cool coming up? Coke sponsorship. But honestly, there's a few things that are kind of in the background going on kind of all the time, and they're very slow burning. Again, I hate to be vague TM. I wish I could talk about a lot more of these things as they're going on,
the ego stuff,
a lot of these things
whatever.
Are contractually obligated and you can't talk about them. But I know some things that I'm working on. Nothing like super crazy, over the top that's going to change the world or anything like that, but I'm just trying to do some fun stuff alongside the videos that I'm doing. But I'm just happy doing the videos that I'm doing. I'm trying not to take on too much. When I took on the tour last year, that felt like it was a bit too much. By the end of that, I got very burnt out. So I'm trying not to burn myself out too much this year, but also not just sit back and play games all the time. I love doing that. I want to play games till the day I die, but I want to keep some stuff going on in the background as well off YouTube. So stuff in general, like the charity streams are still going on, creating different pins for those all the time. The next charity stream, by the way, 28th. As of this video, should be the 28th of April.
Sunday.
So Sunday the 28th.
2 days after
that's happening in Japan. Before then, I hope by the time this goes up, maybe I'll be allowed to talk about it. That's one of the things. I'm allowed to say that I'm going to Japan, but not why yet. And I'm really excited about that. There's some really cool stuff that's going to come out of that. But like 2 days after I'm back, I will have to do the charity stream because I don't want to miss a month. I said that I'm not going to. So the 28th of April will be that one. But lots of stuff coming out. Lots of stuff that I'm working on, and just general personal life happiness is the thing that I'm working on most this year. Where is that video of the tour? I didn't get to go to one of your shows, so I've been waiting to see all 90 minutes of the How Did We Get Your live show Comedy World Tour from Jacksepticeye. We're still working on it. Well, I say we. I'm not doing anything about this documentary right now. I put the work in already. But I've talked to Tucker a couple of times about it, and he's gone through a bunch of the footage, and he's whittling it down, so it's still happening. But with the... Okay, you said that you didn't go to the show, so I can't really explain it that well, but for anyone who did go to the show, you know the setup of it, you know the premise of it. It's all about...
comedy. And
going
your
through life, like a literal how did we get here. Do you have 90 minutes to go over it? Overcoming obstacles and where you came from and how you got to be where you are, because a lot of people can look at this type of stuff, and especially when you're up on stage doing a show and think, man, they found the secret, they accomplished success, and I want to know how to be able to do that. What's the secret? And then when you actually see the show, you realise there wasn't really that much of a secret to it. It was just...
shit happens.
Right place, right time, work really hard, a little bit of luck involved. So I want the documentary to kind of reflect a lot of that. I want it to reflect why we made the show, because I didn't make the show just willy-nilly for the sake of trying to get money out of people, sell tickets and merch and all that kind of stuff. I wanted an actual show with a proper premise and something that I was proud of, something that had a message behind it. So I want the documentary to sort of reflect that as well. So it's going to take a long time to get through. But it's coming. It'll happen. I don't know what format yet. I don't know where it's going to be released and how, if it's paid, if it's free. All of that stuff will happen when it happens. But I'll do it the best way that I can. Meme review when or if Felix asks me. I mean, it's his show. He can do what he wants. I'd love to do it. Sounds like a bunch of fun, and a bunch of cool people have already gotten to do it. But again, his call. If he doesn't want me to, that's fine. If he wants me to,
I'm shocked that he
Any plans for another tattoo? Oh, you're still using the nickname I gave you years ago. That's actually really sweet.
Nickname?
I don't have any like set plans for what I want in my next tattoo. Like, I don't have a design in my head. These two were the ones that I definitely wanted. The ones that I can't even show them the camera. The Bloodborne one and the Shadow of the Colossus one. These are the only tattoos that I have right now. But I do want more. I said that I wanted to get like a PMA one at some point, but I don't want just PMA written on me. I'd like a cool design around it. I've kind of wanted something Asian for a while, like something Japanese or Korean, because a lot of the symbolism and a lot of the folklore and stuff from those regions are really, really cool. I'm playing stuff again like Shadow of the Colossus and Bloodborne and Sekiro, all made by Japanese developers. I'm always kind of inspired by their artistic talent, so I want to get something like that, maybe. I don't know. I don't know when, how, what, or why, but at some point I'll get more tattoos. Would you ever consider doing a band again? I'd love to see you play them drums live. I don't think I'll ever do the band thing again. The band thing barely even happened the first time. I had a band first when I was like 16, when I started off playing drums, 16, 17, with some guys. Some of them were in the band that you all know at this point, but we didn't really do anything. We did a couple of Battle of the Bands, we did a couple of gigs. I gigged. We weren't very good at the time, but we just had fun doing it, which was the main point in it. It was never really intended to go anywhere. And then we started the Race at the Ground band, and that was going. We had bigger ambitions for that one because we were actually decent. And a lot of our contemporaries at the time weren't playing music the same way we were, and we were very, very proud of it. But that kind of just fizzled out when college happened. Everyone went their separate ways. Yep. Everyone was doing different things. I left college. I didn't go back again. So I wasn't in a good place in my life either. I didn't even play drums again after that point. So a lot of stuff happened then for the band to disband. But in regards to doing it again, I probably wouldn't do like
maybe
a band
drum
thing
cover,
again,
but that's really
and
it.
Make songs or anything. But I'm not opposed to doing drums live in some way. If we could do like a funny get together with some people who play a bunch of instruments, or something for charity at some point. I don't know. There's something to be had there. So maybe, I don't know. But I do want to do more drum stuff soon. Any new hobbies you've been trying out? Trying to get sponsored by Coke. That's a great hobby. That's going nowhere.
That's
drinking. That's also a great hobby. How many people at home now are watching this thinking that I actually have a drinking hobby? But not really. like, gaming is still a really big hobby to me. Even outside of playing, I play games all day, every day. I either record them, or I stream them, or I sit down and just play them in my spare time. I love games, and I love going to the movies, those kinds of things, but I haven't taken on anything new. I probably should. It's always nice to take on new hobbies. It's always nice to have hobbies. Playing games is a hobby that thankfully turned into more of a job capacity for me, but at the same time, it's always good to have differing things going on. It's always good to have something that's just fun for yourself, something that you don't need to share with the world. So I might get into something else. I don't know what that would be. I guess playing drums is still a big hobby of mine, noodling around on those. But is there anything else I've been doing in my spare time? Not really. I've been really, really busy lately, so I haven't really had time to take on any new hobbies, but I'd love to. I just don't know what they would be. Are you ever going to write a book? I think I talked about this before, but a really long time ago, because everybody was making... A lot of YouTubers were making books years ago. God, that was like 4 years ago now at this point. I've been doing YouTube way longer than it feels. I've been doing YouTube for 6 years. But I've thought about doing a book before. I've thought about making a silly book. I've thought about doing an autobiography book. But I'm like... I haven't lived a life yet, so what would I be able to write about? I'd be able to write something. There's a book there, but if it's worth doing or not is a different question. And I don't want to just make a book for the sake of making a book, even if the contents of it had some fun in them or something. I don't know, it's weird. So if I find the right idea, or not even the right idea, but a cool way of writing a book, or a cool way of doing a book, or a reason to do a book. I thought about doing a book alongside the tour and the documentary because there's a story in that to be able to tell, but I don't know if it would be different enough for release as a book, so I don't know. I've thought about it, but right now I have no plans of writing a book. Opinions on dogs in raincoats. I'm a big lover of dogs in general. Dogs in anything. Dogs in raincoats. Dogs in movies. Dogs in my vicinity. It's all great. Dogs in raincoats are adorable. I want more dogs in everything. I want more dogs in my life. If we actually had 90 minutes, would you be able to do the How Did We Get Here show right now without any preparations? Yes, I absolutely would. It's so burned into my brain at this point.
Yeah, you probably did so many times that you had the idea.
Basically in my head.
You haven't memorized.
I'm not a person that's like sits and writes stuff. I did write some versions of it down, but the versions that I wrote down are not nearly what the show ended up being. Like, all the jokes that ended up being in the show were almost all improv. There was some of them that were laid out, like the structure of the jokes were laid out, but the punchlines I would change depending on how the laughs would land. Like, the first couple of shows I did, or the first leg of tour I did, was completely different than what well, not completely different, but a lot of the jokes are much funnier by the time I finished the show because I got way more comfortable with it. I knew the material. I didn't need to remember what was coming next. It just flowed out of me. So a lot of the jokes that ended up happening, even a lot of the jokes that were like the big laughs, were stuff that I made on the spot, because I would say a joke and then it wouldn't land, and I'm the type of person who's like, I'm going to keep making jokes until you laugh, until I can cap this off. So I kept doing that, and sometimes a joke would just come out naturally, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome, I love that joke. So I would just run with that for the next show, and then they became staples of the entire show for the rest of the tours. But because
that's the reason why he didn't want it to get filmed, because if he
in my head, I don't know if
the jokes are there on YouTube already, then no one's going to laugh.
Perfect version of the show
he wants a fresh audience to know.
I'd definitely be able to get up and give you the full show. I'm a little rusty when it comes to like audience participation and the improv of that, but I'd definitely be able to do it. Billions and billions of years ago. I'm curious, what do you think your favourite parts of the community are? And there's another bit that I didn't get screenshot that says, and if you're open to talking on a more serious note, your least favourite part. My favourite parts of the community is when everything just clicks and gels. We find a series that is not only fun for me to record, and like the humour and everything flows very naturally, but it's fun for you guys to watch, and then it's fun for Robin to edit. There's like cool bits and pieces that you can do with that. And also when we kind of just come together for anything, whether it be going to PAX and everybody kind of being there to hang out and do a thing, going on the tours and everybody coming out to watch the show and we're all in the same room together. live streaming, just general making the videos and seeing people's reactions, but also the charity streams that we do every month are a big interactive piece that we do all the time. Anytime that I get to interact with you guys more is something that's really fun for me, because that's when everything gels together. That's when the YouTube thing just works perfectly, because YouTube to me has always been about a better connection between creator and audience, because traditional media doesn't really have that. But at the same time, branching off of that to my least favorite part, like with any upside, there's always a downside. And I think just always being on all the time, always having always having access to everything, and just like Bo Burnham said it best, was like audience and creator merged together. For a lot of things, there's far more positives in that than there are negatives, but sometimes the negatives of that really shine through because it can get too much. It's very overwhelming to have an audience of this size and try and lead people in a good direction, because every now and then stuff's going to fall apart, stuff changes. There's so many people, so many differing opinions, so many different walks of life, and so many different assumptions of how things should be and how things could be, and just there's a lot involved in it. So sometimes it's very hard to take that on board. I'm getting constant feedback from people 24/7 all the time, and there's absolutely no break from it unless I take the break from it. And because I love interacting with people and love seeing how people react to the stuff that we're uploading, it's hard to get to the really good stuff. Sometimes you have to wade through the really horrible things, or somebody will say one thing that really gets to my insecurity that I felt on that particular day. If I'm in some sort of mood and then somebody says something to me, it kind of sets you off. Just imagine how it would be in your day-to-day life if you're walking around and you're just not in the best mood, and then somebody is able to find that one thing that you're upset about and they start like saying it back to you, but they say it back to you by the hundreds. Sometimes that gets to creators every now and then, because again, we're people at the same time, and I know that this is the life that we lead, and the public, like, we've put ourselves in the public eye, and some people would say like this is what comes with it, and to an extent I agree, but at the same time sometimes it gets very overwhelming.
Yep.
And doing YouTube has been the greatest source of joy for me that I've ever felt in my life, and it's given me more than I ever thought possible, and for that I am extremely grateful. And I will always see community and YouTube and everything as far more positive than it is negative. But since you asked, it's also given me my greatest source of anxiety that I've ever felt in my life, because there's just so much to it, and nobody's really prepared for any of it ever. For whatever you're thinking at home, you might think that you know what it's like, but you will never ever know what it's like until you're actually doing it. So it can be very tricky, and it's a hard balance to walk.
Yeah.
And sometimes I faltered a little more than I'd like to admit, and sometimes things have kind of gotten out of control more than I'd like to admit. But I think that by and large, this community has stayed like pretty damn great. And doing this for this long is a very hard thing to do as well, to like keep this audience going and keep us all entertained and keep things just relatively nice. And I'm very, very proud of that. That was a long answer.
Yep.
But sometimes you need to get your thoughts across properly. How are you so positive? But I'm not positive all the time. I am positive most of the time, and I just kind of go with the flow and try and get as much fun out of things as I can. Well, that's basically the secret to it, is that I spent a lot of like 2017, spent a lot of the start of my YouTube stuff extremely excited, extremely motivated, fiery, burning passion in my soul for doing this, and it's just nothing was going to stop me, and it was impossible to be like upset about anything because things were just great. But 2017, a lot of stuff was going on, and it really just hammered me down and beat me into submission. And so you're never going to know the ins and outs of all of that kind of stuff, because a lot of it is very personal life things, and a lot of it involves people that I don't want to like talk about in that regard, or make it seem like they're bad people, or things like that. It's just not worth getting into, because ultimately I got over it. And nowadays how I keep myself so positive is just because I went so deep and dark and miserable that I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to be that sad anymore. I didn't want to get burnt out on trivial things. I didn't want to eat up mental calories in my brain, and just kind of moved on from it. I made my peace with it. I tried to figure out what was wrong. I sat down, I self-reflected. I went over a lot of things in my life. I prioritized different things in my life. I changed a lot of things in my life. And I just tried to make more positive changes for the things that I wanted to do. Because I'd lived so much of my life doing things the way I thought other people wanted me to do them. And then, of course, doing YouTube in such a way has an audience, like, magnifying that. So I was trying to appease too many different people. So I kind of just settled into myself a bit more. I grew up, I got older, and I realized not to sweat the small things as much. There's so many things now I go back and I look at and I'm like, man, why did that upset me? Why was I so upset about those types of things? And that's, again, that comes with age and it comes with experience, because like in my early 20s, I was such a mess. I didn't know what I was doing. I was so upset and I was so depressed. So going through a lot of that stuff, it just comes with experience. And I also just, I want to be more positive about things, not in such a, like, a fake, hey, PMA, go be happy, haha, kind of way. I want to be, like, realistically positive. And I want to just try and be happier in my life. And I think trying to find balance in my personal life has really made everything else a lot easier. It's easy to be positive when I feel like I have other things figured out. But again, I'm not positive all the time. Sometimes things piss me off, and sometimes it's such inconsequential shit. I'll just wake up on the wrong side of bed, and anything that, like, touches me, I'm like, oh, God, okay, leave me alone. So anybody who's positive, like, that you see, it's not positive all the time. So don't look at that and try and think that you have to be positive all the time. But just...
We're not perfect.
I don't know. Chill out, have fun. Life can be great. It can't be boiled down that easily, and there's no one answer that I can give you. I would have to talk for 4 hours to try and get across all my thoughts on these types of things. And I've spent a long time trying to strive towards what is positivity and how do you be happy. So there's no answer I can give you right now that's going to give you the perfect solution. So it's all about just figuring it out for yourself. When is the green hair coming back?
Most likely
Never.
not. Yeah.
It's gone. Let me move on from it. This is also I know you don't mean any harm by it, by the way. I'm not trying to drag you or throw shade your way or make you feel bad for asking the question, because it's a question I get asked a lot of times. But
it kills your hair
feel like
too,
that's
with bleach.
a part of me that's kind of gone at this point. The green hair thing. It was cool at the time, but now looking back,
it was for charity,
like, yeah,
and it turned into...
That's the time that happened. But this is what's happening now, and I'm never going to go back to the green hair.
It's going to kill your hair.
There's no thing that can really make me change my mind about that, I think. Unless something crazy happens, like somebody's like, I'll donate $3 million to your next charity stream if you dye your hair green. Like, something like that, maybe, but...
Watch, somebody's going to do that.
It's just... There's a lot of phases that happen when it comes to life in general.
That was his emo phase.
Things come and go. YouTube series come and go. Like, that's always reminding me of, like, Happy Wheels, Turbo Dismount. Like, a lot of those series that were happening back then when the channel was really exploding and the green hair was really taking off and everything. That feels like a nice, neat little part of the channel that sits there at that moment. And you can still go back and you can still look at it and everything. But I don't want to try and relive the past too much. I'm not even the same person as I was back when I dyed my hair green. So even if I tried, it wouldn't really be the same thing. So I want to just kind of leave those things back where they were. I don't regret them. I'm not ashamed of them. I do cringe a little at some of them, but again, cringing at things
cringing at how
you've grown and you've evolved.
Faded away.
You're in a different place now, so
before
I just want to leave those things where they are. They're still nice, happy memories, and people can always go back and look at them and watch them and everything whenever they want. Legit question though, I love these joking ones. Any advice for someone just starting out with gauge earrings? I just started with 14S just yesterday. And I know I'll wait at least 3 weeks before going to the next size, but each experience is different. Yeah, so I started off stretching my ears when I was 18. I got one of my ears pierced when I was at the Sonosphere Festival in England the first year that it was on. And I just started stretching them from there. I got the other one done about a month later, So they were done at different times, and I kind of recommend that first.
Yeah,
I wouldn't start stretching both at the same time.
For a long time.
Because when you start, well, it depends on how big you want to go. But when you start stretching them, if you put these giant earrings in, that stretch them out. Like to get to this size, I don't know what like the American rating for it is. People are like, I think that's 00, and I'm like, I just go by the millimeter. So these are 8mm. I used to have 10 in my ears, whatever that ends up being from conversion charts, but I was doing them at different times, different size of earrings, and I'd say go at whatever pace your body reacts to. With me, I had to go a little slower because my ears just wouldn't stretch. They weren't as malleable as some people's ears are. I had a friend who had his ears stretched as well, and his went much faster, but mine, I stretched too hard, too fast, and my ear cracked and bled a bit, so I had to like dial back. It got a little bit infected and goopy the way they always do. So it was a lot slower than some people's, but other people then can do it in like 2 weeks. They can keep going up sizes. So it all just depends on your ears. I just say take it as slow as you need to, but listen to your body as well. If you're suddenly like pushing and it's not hurting and you're not getting that much resistance, then do that until you hit some resistance. There's no like definite way of doing it for everybody. Do you mind people coming up to
you fucked that up.
Do you mind people coming up to you to say hello? If you don't look busy, that is. Yes, of course. You can always come up to me. If I'm out in public or I'm out walking around, you can always come up to me and say hi. I love meeting people. I'm usually, generally, almost all the time very nice to people who come up and meet me on the streets. Because it's delightful. How many times can you walk down the street and somebody comes up and they want to meet you just because of the things they saw you do on the internet? That's lovely. It's a great compliment. Of course, it's different if I'm in the middle of eating dinner or something.
Yeah, it's a different really aspect.
A great time to do
it just depends on the situation. If he's like out on a date with somebody or whatever.
Body language at that point.
Yeah, it's just not
come
wrong
up to me.
time.
Say hi. I'd love to talk to you. Is Danny from Game Grumps a furry? Yes, he is. When he's not on camera. That's actually why the Grumps can't do much Let's Plays with like a face cam or anything, because Danny's kind of just sitting in like his full furry outfit. I'm not going to say what he is because it's very special to him. And the more I can spread around a rumor of Danny Sexbang being a furry, the better. Do you think you will ever move to LA? Also, if you could time travel for one day, would you go 1 million years in the past or 30 years in the future, and why? I thought I was going to move to LA this year because I spent 3 months there last year and it was fantastic, and I had so many friends to hang out with, and I felt great, and the sun was fantastic, and it was just a great time. That was when I really started to get like personal life balance back.
Yeah, that was when
my YouTube stuff got a little all over the place because I just didn't know what the hell was going on. And that was when I got to like hang out with friends properly and really get peace of mind and really ease into things and like just kind of remind myself of who I am and what I want and all that kind of stuff. So I thought for a long time that I was going to move to LA, but coming back here to Brighton, it moves at a different speed, and sometimes it's really nice to just be here and relax. And I really like my house. I like hanging out in it, and I like just being here and relaxing. It's very quiet here where I live, and it's very isolated, and I like that I can just kind of sit back and let the world sort of melt away if I want to. It's kind of hard to do that in a much bigger place with so many more people. And I can always go to LA for things if I really want to. I can take some trips for different things, or go for like 3 months again if I want to. So I decided not to right now, but eventually someday, maybe for like an extended stay again, but I don't see myself living there indefinitely. And if I were to go 1 million years in the past or 30 years in the future, I would choose 30 years in the future, because 1 million years in the past would suck. That would be terrible. 1 million years ago, there's no people, there's no anything going on. That would be awful. But even if it was like 30 years ago or 30 years in the future, I would still choose the future. I would choose the future all the time. Because the stuff that's happened in the past has happened in the past. It's already done. I want to see where we're going. I want to see what's next. I want to see what advancements we have in 30 years. Whether things got better or worse. I'm just very curious about that. Do you prefer taking a shower with your back towards the water or the other way around? And this is a good question. Because I remember talking to some friends about this a while ago. And some of them said that they take a shower facing the water. And whenever you kind of see any sort of like movie or any sort of picture, like stock photo of people taking a shower, they're always facing the shower with the water hitting them in the face. Maybe it just looks more aesthetically pleasing that way, because it looks very sad when you're just standing with your back to the shower. But I always shower with the water hitting my back. Because I feel like I can like concentrate on things better. If I'm staring at it, I feel like I'm trying to get the water out of my face all the time. So I'm very curious if you guys have showers with your back to the water or your chest to the water, like facing the water or facing away from the water. Let me know. I'm very curious. Do you ever get like really cool ideas, but you're not able to do them the way that you want? Yes, all the time.
Same.
I always build it up in my head a lot bigger than it needs to be, and I always hold myself back from like trying really cool things. I try not to, but I still do it even these days. Sometimes there are like huge projects that I want to do and some really cool ideas that I get in my head, and I'm like, no, that'll either cost too much to do, it would just be way too long to do, it would require too many people, things like that. Sometimes it's just way too big to do, but sometimes it's like the easy, simple little videos to do, but I'm like, no, I'd have to take my camera and set it up there. I really want it to go this way, and I want to look at it that way, and I want it to be perfect. And then I end up thinking in my head, no, it won't end up that way, and then I end up not doing it at all. And I hate myself for that. I really need to get out of that mentality, because it's holding me back from doing like a bunch of really random, weird stuff on the channel, and I want to do more of that. I want to just take risks and do fun stuff, but because I'm so in a cycle of doing like videos each and every single day, it's also hard to just break away from that and get the time to even think about doing different ideas, because daily uploading, it might not look like a whole lot. It might not look like a whole lot to like sit here and like read comments and answer them and things like that, but if you want to have any sort of life at all, it's really hard to upload daily all the time. So I have to like really take some breaks away to really do some cool stuff, and at that point I'm like, oh, it's nice to just kind of take a break away in general. So, oh man, there's a lot. I really need to do cooler stuff. But I think I'm going to leave this here because I've been recording way too long. But I figured it's been a while since I've done one of these, so why not do a longer version of it and actually give proper answers instead of jokey, quick-fire type of answers, because I feel like the people who really want to know answers to things and really want to just sit back and relax and listen and know what's going on, like the longer versions of these videos are for you guys, for those people who want to watch that kind of stuff. And the people who aren't really into this type of stuff, it doesn't really matter what length it would be anyway, so this is for you guys. But yeah, it's nice sitting back and just like interacting with you. Doing these types of videos definitely makes it feel like there's more people actually sitting behind a camera and watching and listening, more so than doing a Let's Play. So it feels very connected, so I do want to do more of these types of videos. It's just, I keep getting the same types of questions all the time. There's a lot of them that I had to skip over this time, like on how do you start a YouTube channel, things like that I've answered a million times. And there's so many questions that that was another reason for not reading comments anymore, is because I started answering questions that I had answered like 30 episodes ago, and I'm like, jeez, 30 episodes ago? I can't even remember what was in that video. I can't remember that video at all. So it just became a bit too messy, so there you go. But thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the flippity flop. Stay awesome. Flop. I don't know what else to say to end this video. It's very awkward, so I'm just going to say bye and thanks for watching. Bye.
Very unusual of Jack to do it that way.
Now back to my drinking problem.
Now, I knew that he was not going to answer my question, but it was kind of nice to hear what he had to answer, especially the ones about, like, his favorite part of the community and his least favorite part of the community. Like, getting all that instant feedback all the time. I can't imagine, like, and he said, like, he gets a lot of anxiety from that. Which is odd, I wouldn't be surprised at, but I find it interesting. Some of the answers that he put down was pretty good. But, I gotta find my question that I tweeted at, like, I asked him, but I know he wasn't gonna answer it, but it was worth a shot anyway, because why not? Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it, dude? It's been a while. I don't even know when that was actually... Hold on. Here it is, I found it. Have you ever thought of doing a Q&A with your alter egos? Not a bad idea, right? I think that would be kind of pretty funny and interesting at the same time, especially with some of the alter egos like Jacksepticeye or Dr. Schneeperstein or Chase Brody or Marvin the Magnificent, Jackaboy Man, and JJ. Well, JJ will just wiggle his mustache and then a little subtitle, a closed caption would come up. I think that would be a pretty interesting Q&A type video because, like, what if people have questions for any of the alter egos? And I can imagine, like, somebody jokingly ask Auntie, "Are you a turtle?" And then Auntie will go, "I am not a turtle!" Whatever the fuck. I'm just making that up, but it would be kind of hilarious to see. A good hilarity to see. And that one question about him, like, you ever have any of these ideas in your head that you always want to do? Like, yeah, that also is also with me as well, because I always picture in my head what this big video will look like. Now, the last time that I really had something that huge was Good Deals 3, because that featured not just my alter ego JD Thrift, but it also featured my other alter egos Jared, Wikipedia, and a new one, Dr. Robert Spindler. That's why, and that required so many days of shooting, and that also required so much, like, time and editing, and also I actually had to take 2 days off from making videos to actually finish that. That's how crazy it was. That's how insane it is. And to be honest, if Jack wants to do something that big, if Jack wants to create some crazy video that A, may feature alter egos or not, or B, doesn't feature them at all, if he wants to create something that huge, my advice, well, I'm pretty sure he would have done it anyway, is to put out as many videos out during the week and take your time on working on it all the time, a little at a time. That's what I do. Whenever I have this big video I want to do, I would, like, spam record so many videos all in one night, and then edit all of them, and then put them up, and then have them all finished and everything, and have them up, and then if I need to continue making videos, then I'll do that, and then I'll keep extending so I have enough time to put work and time and energy towards this big video or whatever. Like, look, I don't have anything big planned right now because I want to take a break from that, because that could be really stressful to me. Jason, shut the hell up. I hear my dad watching Friday the 13th Part 2 right now. The reason why I kind of like smirked because I heard some girl scream it was in Part 2 when the girl from the first film getting killed by Jason with a screwdriver. I just heard that scene being played. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, so it's like a marathon on Friday the 13th. Well, anyways, it would be really interesting to see if he would ever do, like, anything big like that. Well, I know Mark for sure does that too. Mark definitely does do that type of shit where he spam records so much videos and then puts them out one video a day. That's what's the best thing about having one video a day. You have a lot of time to work on other things that you want to do. Because if you keep putting out, like, if you have like a video schedule that is like 2 or 3 videos a day, then that's going to be a little harder because you're going to constantly have to work so much on other things. Excuse me. But that's why I vote, like, the thing is, I've been doing this one video a day thing for so long. For the last 2 years, I've been doing this one video a day thing because I felt that it was fair and it wasn't that too overwhelming for people to see, because look, I don't want to overwhelm the hell out of you people with so many videos every single day. No, I just want to put one video out for that day for you to watch, and then you have more to check out the next day. Like, you know what I mean? Just one video every day. That's it. And I think that's good enough. And again, and also it gives you time to chill and relax. Relax and think about what you want to do next, what big thing you want to do, stuff like that. So it was really interesting to see Jack answer some of these questions, especially the one with him talking about getting gauges and everything. Like I've been aware that Jack has had the gauges or earrings or gauges before YouTube, because it was obvious, because he had the piercings and everything. I was already aware of that, but I know that when he was doing Jacksepticeye, he would put these magnetic ones in. And then he started wearing them again, like late 2018. He started wearing gauges again. So it's kind of interesting, and we're kind of used to it now at this point. Maybe he's doing it on purpose, because who knows? But it's really interesting to see. Really, really interesting to see. And also, I wanted to discuss, I don't want to discuss it right now, but I was gonna mention about, like, the alter ego stuff, and what I have, like, the only nitpick I have with this whole thing. Do you honestly feel that Jack is teasing too much? Now, hear me out on this. Think about this think of the time period that has been going on for the last, I don't know, the last year or so. When was the last time Jacksepticeye really made an appearance? The Dark Silence video? Kinda. But I mean, like, a real appearance where he actually speaks to the viewer. The Biolink Redemption video. And what does he always do? What has he been doing all the time? He had that thing in Doki Doki Literature Club, and then some asshole was like, "Oh, you're teasing too much. You're doing Anti too much." And then we haven't really seen Anti since. But thing is, Jack has been really doing this teasing to us for so long. It gets to the point where all the community has to theorize on all the most innocent fucking things in the world and think that Anti is coming back. And I've seen some more outrageous ones, like apparently during the Quit the Game to Win video, Jack doing this, twitching his eye, Jack's eye twitching is apparently Morse code for Anti. I don't know how the hell you know that, and I don't know how the hell you figured that out, but that is just absolutely ridiculous and a little outrageous, to be honest. He just twitched his eye. That's a common thing for an Jacksepticeye thing. Because remember those early moments where he goes, "Oh, my eye is getting twitchy." See? And then you have an Anti glitch appear. That's a common thing for Anti, is that his eye is twitching. I don't know how the hell that this is Morse code for fuck you. I don't know how the hell you got that idea. But I think it's going to get, if he continues to do this teasing stuff, it's going to get to the point where no one's going to really care, and everybody's going to just take it with a grain of salt and be like, it's just probably not going to lead to anything. Just like that Chase Brody picture. That Chase Brody picture, most likely, will probably not lead to anything big. He was just probably posting that picture up just because it was his birthday. That's probably why. So I have a feeling, unfortunately, that this whole Chase Brody thing is just a picture that can't take anything seriously. It's just, it looks cool and it looks like something's gonna happen, but most likely there isn't gonna be anything happening. Unfortunately, and it sucks. But honestly, I think if Jack teases a lot less, and if he actually did do stuff, because I think I think the biggest reason why that it's gotten to the point of him teasing too much is the whole thing that happened last June, where he had the mental breakdown and also broke up with Cena. I think because of that, like, he really had no, period, like, he was like, I don't want that mindset of trying to do any of that stuff wasn't on his mind. He just wanted to take his time and really focus on his mental health and everything. And one of my internet friends told me, like, theorized that maybe the reason why he has been hesitant of doing Auntie is because of Wishu, and I'm like, how? Well, Wishu apparently did the throat slit effect, makeup effect, for Jack. And I'm like, really? Jack has done that, the throat slit shit twice already, and before that, on his own, he really didn't, that was really it. Honestly, I don't think that's a little ridiculous. Like, it's not like Auntie is Wishu's creation. Unless if that was the case, then I can understand why. But Wishu just did the makeup for him, and that was it. So I honestly doubt that. But you never know. Maybe he just really wants to wait for the right... I think it's more or less of him trying to wait. He's waiting until he can get an origin story down for Auntie. That's really it. That's probably when we're going to probably eventually see him. It's probably going to be a long time, and to the point where we find out the origin of Jacksepticeye. Which is probably going to be the next time we're going to see him. It's going to be a long time. And now he's, Jack is doing a Let's Play of Uncharted with Troy Baker and somebody else. I don't remember who the other guy, but I only know that Troy Baker is involved. And I know that Troy Baker is a well-known voice actor, and he also voiced the Joker in Batman Arkham Origins and some other DC-related media, but it was pretty good stuff. I think that's pretty cool he's doing stuff like that, but other than that, who knows what he's going to be doing. It's unfortunate that he didn't answer my question. I don't know what's wrong with my questions. Well, am I going to be revealing too many of your ideas? Like, what? I know he probably didn't get a chance to look at it, but I tweeted pretty early, too, and still nothing. Probably just glanced over mine, I'm like, oh, this fucking guy again. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends, be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to also check out my Instagram because I make cool ads in Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also do reenactments and cosplays on there, so go check it out. Be sure to also check out my Tumblr, it's in the description as well. And also, finally I can acknowledge this, but it's been at least a week since this has happened. But thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. We actually got to 1,000. That's crazy. It almost felt like a week ago we hit 900. But actually it was like 2 months. But still, it almost felt like it was not too long ago that we hit a milestone already. So it's crazy that we reached 1,000 subscribers this soon. And I'm honest, just like he is, I am honestly extremely grateful for all of you. I want to thank you guys all for believing in me, even though I might be not the most original YouTuber out there. Like, look, as long as you're entertained by what I do, that's totally fine. But I honestly appreciate it. I'm honestly grateful. I've been doing this stuff for over 7.5 years. And the fact that it took me that long just to get to 1,000 is just unbelievable. But back in the day, I wasn't really doing YouTube fully as I wanted to. I always had school or other stuff in my way. Like, I always had these roadblocks in my way, and I really didn't have a chance to really do anything YouTube related that I always wanted to do. That was the issue. But now that I have the opportunity to really pursue this more, that has allowed me to upload more frequently than I couldn't do before, and now here I am now. We finally made it to 1,000. Now, now let's just keep this community growing. That's all I want. I want this community to grow. Let's go for 1 million. Let's go to 100,000. I don't know. Well, let's keep going. That's the thing. Just keep going. And I don't really care about the numbers, but it's just another milestone that just lets this community just grow. It just indicates that the community is growing. That's the biggest thing about it. So once again, thank you guys. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.